now I will give over to the main stage, where there's another non-Dutch act from the Netherlands waiting to play. Huge band, I think, based around an Israeli drummer who lives in the Netherlands and who will be up here for an interview later on. And here we are. Don't you love it how I forget about those jingles? Peter.
Well, that was the completely wrong introduction for the next band, because it's a completely male band, and it is really male, and it is very strong. And Guy Salamon says that he tries to merge humor and pain and chaos and silence. How that sounds, you will hear now from Guy Salamon Group. Good luck. Enjoy.
Hello. Hello, and thank you, everybody. Hello at home for everybody, and thanks for tuning in, and thanks for listening to us. My name is Guy Salamon. We're the Guy Salamon Group. I'd like to just first of all thank everybody for this opportunity. It's so wonderful to be here. It's such a beautiful room, such a beautiful hall. We got such beautiful treatment in this wonderful festival, and the only thing that's missing here is you. Sorry for being cliche, but we really miss you. We miss everybody being here, and we're sure that really soon, this is probably just the last part of it, real soon we can all be together and hang and celebrate and play music, and we're just longing for that, and we're so happy that at least we can be together on this stage with these amazing musicians that I can also happily call my wonderful friends. We all came, especially from Amsterdam, to play here today. We have Teis Semey on the guitar, and this is Lucas Martinez on the tenor saxophone. This is José Soares on the alto saxophone, Alistair Payne on the trumpet, Ian Cleaver on the trumpet. This is Xavi Torres on the piano, and this is William Barrett on the bass. I usually leave time for people to clap, but if you're clapping at home alone, that's a little sad, but great. But we have been playing a lot of music from our debut album called Unfollow the Leader, and also some new music. So we did a little mix of some brand new music that's going to come out on the second album. Please, if you want to talk to me, I'm available always, 24/7. Not really, I sleep. But thanks a lot again for listening. This has been wonderful. Thanks for everybody in the sound technicians. They're cool. They also have cool fashion. Okay, we're gonna play the last song. The last song is dedicated to all of you out there. See you next year somewhere. It's called Blues for Jaja. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for listening. We're the Guy Salamon Group. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy the rest of the festival. Goodbye.
Enjoy the rest of the festival. Wow, I was actually down there for a hot minute, maybe 2 songs, hearing this wonderful Guy Salamon Group. And with me here, up here, is Peter Schulze, one of the artistic directors of Jazzahead, who played a part in selecting this group. And we want to talk a little bit about the Dutch scene and the development of the Dutch scene and what is going on there. I mean, we've talked a little bit of it. I mean, that's the fun of talking in between sets, you know. We gave away all our ammunition already, but you haven't heard it.
Not
so
really.
But you've been looking at the Dutch scene for much longer than I have, so you're...
Well, that's because I'm older than you, only that. Yes, I've watched the Dutch scene since the 60s, I must say. And I always thought that is a very vivid scene. That is a scene that is cosmopolitan. I mean, they have people like Michael Moore or so, clarinetist, who early on lived in Amsterdam.
Right.
So that's a lot of, there's a lot of people, a lot of good musicians that really love the liberal atmosphere of that country.
Right.
And it's a small country, so it has not that much bureaucracy like we do, for example. And so they had some innovations done which were really crucial, I think, to the European jazz scene. Like one of the first independent labels, like ICP, Instant Composers Pool, that was founded by Willem Boyke, Misha Mengelberg, and Han Benning. And they are still around. Well, Han Benning is still around, but they've been very vivid and innovative and well, active.
And jazz always played a huge part there. I mean, you mentioned Han, and I remember even in the 50s, there was a series of Jazz Behind the Dikes you know, where it was still very America-oriented, and Han played with a lot of the American greats that traveled through them, but he, you know, then found his own voice among with many of them.
He found his own voice as a free jazz drummer, and when I heard him play with Gato Barbieri, really hard swinging, this was another revelation in a way. So,
I mean, obviously, you know, I must say that one of my big surprises in life probably was being at Han Benning's house, where he had his art, he had his music and all. But in his kitchen, he has an old 50s mono record player, and behind it is a collection of 10-inch vinyls. From that time, he says, I want to listen to the music the way they listened to it back then. And when he's there, he listens to that music, which is, you know, bebop and swing music from around that time, and he loves it.
Yeah. And there was another innovation from the Dutch scene, that was the Dutch Jazz Meeting, which was really crucial to the European jazz development, I think, since the 90s. And in 1998, as far as I remember, that was the first Dutch Jazz Meeting. It was just a genial invention somehow to invite Dutch bands and invite to them international festival directors and international, well, their own cultural attachés from the embassies in the countries, to listen to Dutch jazz. And I remember the very first one. It was just crazy at the BIM House, which is a central point of the Association of Improvising Musicians, BIM House, Bund Improviserende Musiker. And that was crucial in a way that it was a role model for all the other showcase festivals, national showcase festivals in all over Europe. And this was a role model for us at Jazzahead as well, because we started with the German Jazz Meeting, and that was, well, caused by the Dutch jazz meeting. That was the role model. But it took us 8 years to take that role model over, you know. It was refused by all the national authorities in Germany until Hans-Peter Schneider from the Bremer Messe said, well, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And this became part of the jazzahead from the very beginning. And I remember vividly all the Dutch jazz meetings. Unfortunately, they are not there anymore, but it still is a very cosmopolitan scene, I must say.
Yeah, and actually, Jazzahead played a part in sort of having the follow-up, because then Jazzdag came throh Buma Kultur, which is now in jazz. It's not like the Dutch jazz meeting, but still, it is an initiative that was sort of then, you know, funny how time changes things. You know, you have the Dutch jazz meeting, then that sort of eases off, Jazzahead comes in, and that creates a new need for something like that, and the in jazz comes. So.
And as we realized with the bands that were just on now, like Sun Mi Hong or Guy Salamon, there are bands from Holland without any Dutch musician. But they still belong to the Dutch scene. It's very, very open. I wonder how open that can be nowadays, because I think the Netherlands went through difficult times politically as well. And it's good to see and good to feel that culturally it's still very open.
Yeah. But, you know, you also mentioned during the first opening ceremony for the festival that there's a lot of desperation in jazz, and that jazz is born out of this desperation, and that in a weird way, these uncertain times that we live in seem to fuel this music, because it just calls for artistic expression.
Right. I would not say that the music needs this.
No. Sorry.
Not only a poor artist is a good artist. We don't want to feed these cliches, but sure. I mean, if you improvise, you can cope better with the all-abouts around you. You know. And the pandemic situation, sure.
And also, if you sing about your innermost feelings or write music, make music from your soul, you know, you can't help but do something when something as grave as we have at the moment happens. You know.
But we'll have a band coming up which is Dutch. That's the Rembrandt Friedrich Struyer, but that is later on. So there are Dutch musicians. Be sure, please. There are Dutch musicians.
There are actually tons of great Dutch musicians. You know, but here we have. He's already here, our next interview guest, and I think he's being mic'd up as we speak, or he might just take this microphone.
Yes,
Peter.
Okay.
Do you want to hand over the mic?
Okay, I'll hand over with disinfection, of course.
Of course, it all has to be disinfected. We're totally Corona cool here. And like I said, you all saw that wonderful concert just now. I did too. And their leader is coming up here now. He's taking over the microphone. He's running to his post. There he is. Guy Salamon.
Hello.
Thank you so much. That was quick.
Yeah, it was quick. Yeah, I was somewhere else. Now I'm here. Nice.
Yeah. Thank you for that concert.
Thank you for having us.
And I was so glad that Peter Schulze, you know, I've been standing here and sort of hearing you very mono on my little in here now. And Peter said, "Come on, let's go downstairs." You know, it's really different when it's live. And boy, was I glad that I did, because, you know, the energy that you feel from a real live concert, it's been so long.
Cool, man. Thanks. Yeah, for us it was, wow, it was so amazing to play also everybody together. It's not as often, of course, now that we can do that. It's getting a little better, and it's just so exciting to do it and to have this opportunity and to play for everybody. So really cool.
Peter was just saying before you came, we were talking about the Netherlands and the Dutch scene, and we were so excited that this is the second Dutch band with actually no Dutch musicians in it, which is such a great sign. But he said, the political climate is not that easy. And then I threw in, it's like, well, jazz thrives from that,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. No, actually, it's really cool how it's a natural community that creates, I think now, everywhere in the world you have very international communities, and it's not about nationalities anymore. And it shouldn't be about nationalities. It's just about people that love each other and want to play with each other and spread music. And we all found our family, basically our new family in Amsterdam. It could be anywhere, and thanks to Amsterdam and to the Dutch jazz scene, we got very influenced by the space and by the musicians and generations together. So there's definitely an influence of where we are from and where we are, but it's basically just people being together and wanting to share music. So that's quite simple, yeah, I think.
You are from Jerusalem originally.
Yeah.
What made you go to Amsterdam in the first place? I mean, did you think there are already enough Israeli musicians in New York, and you?
Well, no. I don't know. My heart led me there. It was a little random, but I think everything's random. You don't know what's gonna happen with your life. It's just like this feels right, and then you go there. And my original plan was just to go there for the studies, of course, but it's probably more than that. I don't know. I just found myself there and found myself there. So, I don't know. I'm sorry for not I'm giving vague answers, but life is vague. I don't know what to say.
Well, but we can all make of it what we want.
Exactly.
I mean,
that's the vibe. Yeah, absolutely.
When you said your heart led you there, I thought, you fell in love with a beautiful Dutch girl. Well, that maybe came later, but that's
right. No,
or you just went to the airport and said, it's like, I'll book a flight to. Oh, that sounds good.
Let's go there. No, I mean, I also love Jerusalem, and I do love going and playing there, and my friends there, and but I really also love the music that's happening in Holland at the moment, and the music that's happening in Europe at the moment, and it's super nice to be here and to be able to play even in these times, because we could come by car, and that it's a tiny small little city, Amsterdam, and we all have this cozy little bike vibe, but it's also super vibrant, and we can be anywhere. This is something I've been living there now for 7 years, and yeah, for sure I've changed a lot. Something has changed, and taking my childhood with me, and taking my parents in Jerusalem, and taking my friends with me here. So nothing is really just step by step, I guess. It's just now I'm here, and now I'm in Bremen, so now I'm here. I might be a bit excited after this concert, so I'm blabbing vaguely.
No. But, it was very poignant when you said you found yourself there, and then you found yourself there, because it's not that you play a very European or Dutch music, it's a very international sound, and maybe, I may hear some influences from Israel.
Probably. And nothing's on purpose.
Of course not.
Nothing's on purpose. It's funny, my brother, when I gave him my first album to listen to, Unfollowed Leader, and he could spot so many childhood programs and songs that my mother used to sing with her choir or with her opera, like a lot of things. This is like that. I have no idea how many things, of course, just attached to you, and how many influences you can get without noticing. So for sure there's everything, but I don't think my music is I don't think anybody's music is really connected. Well, I don't know about anybody's. My music, I don't feel like it's specifically connected to a nationality. Yeah. It's not Israeli music, Jewish music, Dutch music. It's kind of, I want you to feel what you feel about the music, and that everybody can make their own thing from it, and the imagination is a beautiful thing, and that's why we have music in the world, to give us colors that we can't see or taste or feel. So.
Else you wouldn't have called it Unfollow the Leader.
No, exactly.
And you have that woman sitting next to you on the bench there among all these beautiful things.
Right. My mother.
It is really your
It's
mother.
my mother and my father. Yeah, it was a rough day though, yeah, but it was great. Yeah, yeah. I had to have them on the cover, man. It has to happen. I mean, come on. Maybe it's a secret. I shouldn't have said. Yeah, it's just strangers. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I don't know.
Have they supporting your musical career from the beginning?
My goodness, yeah. I mean, they're both musicians. My father's from Peru, and he's a singer-songwriter and does Latin music, like mainly salsa. And my mother is a classical singer, conductor, opera singer, and yeah, it's a mishmash at home, but there's a lot of music and there's a lot of weird stuff, and they love it. Now with my album, they're like, my father just puts it on his CD player and sits in front of the two speakers as if it's like a movie, just listens to the whole album, and my mother does the same, and my brother also living in San Francisco. So I'm full of love, and it's great. So it's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that is such a beautiful story.
Yeah. So that's the vibe. And based on that, I want to write more, of course. So Blues for Jaja, the last song we just played.
Yeah.
Jaja is the nickname of my brother. And a lot of songs, new songs are extended to my new family, so songs that I wrote also for my band members and for people that I met. And a lot of it is just mainly about sharing love and creating stories and making people want to have fun and have fun. Yeah.
Now you have your parents on the cover. Did you
Yeah.
already write songs for them? More
No,
about them?
I think that's enough.
Because I figured that would be a
No.
challenge.
No. I think they have a crazy story. I wouldn't dig into that. But put them on the cover. Everybody's happy. Moving on. Next. Now I can start my career. Nobody's asking for paybacks. You know? So it's great. Yeah.
Were you always playing jazz?
No, not
I mean,
really.
just Semey was up here, and you share
from
at
the-
least one musician.
We share a lot. We share a beautiful friendship as well. We're good
Okay.
friends. Yeah, absolutely.
And her first teacher was a heavy metal drummer.
Right,
Who
indeed.
threw her out because he said she couldn't be a drummer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. I did not play heavy metal ever, and I'm not think I'll be very good at it. But I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing it because music is music. I don't know. I
Right.
definitely started with a bit more of a rock background. I don't know, playing things I liked, Disney music. I don't know, whatever I grew up with. But I got into jazz a little bit later, for sure. And now everything's mixed, so I don't know even what is jazz. Well, that's a different discussion. But yeah, it's all mixed. So
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I think that's the best answer. If you ask somebody what is jazz, it's like, what is art?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Are you having fun? Great. You don't like it? Fine. There's other stuff. There's other stuff in jazz that's great. But I don't know. You're having fun. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, there's so much great music around. For instance, a couple of years ago, I had no idea that someone like Dudu Tassa
Right.
existed.
Yeah.
And the music he is making,
Yeah.
both as a traditional sort of pop singer, but also the
With
music
the Kuwait music and yeah.
from the Kuwaitis,
Right.
it was mind-blowing
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And that is something where that there's always something around some
Everything
corner
is
somewhere
possible.
to discover.
Everything's possible, and that's what we're here to do also, to discover what we can give to the world that hasn't been there yet, that we enjoy. There's a lot, not just in music, there's a lot out there. We don't need to just consume, we can create, all of us, in different fields, in food, in whatever. So yeah, that's what we're here for, to do, to discover what we can bring to the world. And like Duda Tasa, like a lot of beautiful music from everywhere. Yeah, I agree, yeah, totally.
I loved it how you, when you started announcing your musicians,
Right.
and you went so fast, I was like, wow, that's like the fastest. And then you explained it
Yeah.
because you was like,
Scared. I'm scared. I don't know what to do with this live stream thing, man, where there's silence and it's strange. So I just went there. It was like a football game, and then it goes to José Soares, and then it goes to Lucas Martinez. It was kind of this hype thing. but yeah, I mean, there's no claps. So, of course, we want to, I want to, of course, give my beautiful band members all the credit that they deserve, because they're incredible and they give me so much love and support and play so amazingly well. I'm sure you noticed.
I agree.
But yeah, we're adapting to this current situation,
Yeah.
but I think we're ready to move on. So if everybody's up for it, and we can, well, it's not up to us at the moment, but we are so up for playing live and playing for people.
Yeah.
For sure, and that's what we love doing, and we get something back, and it's even worse. I mean, if you saw this concert now when I was talking a little bit, in live shows it's worse, man. I can't stop talking. There's no music at all. It's just like now, it's like probably we're so late in time, but I can't stop talking. So that's a concert. If you want to come, you should come. If you don't like it, there's lots of other music out there. No, I'm joking, but yeah.
No, but that's I think the energy that you get to create on stage with these musicians all together is so infectious, you know. I mean, infectious is a word that we shouldn't use these days, but in a very positive way, because it's an optimism that infects, you know. And I think that's desperately needed in these times where, like, you know, when you call somebody on the phone and you ask that question, like, "How are you?" And 9 out of 10 times, you're going through 10 minutes of somebody telling you how bad things are for them.
Right.
And then someone like you comes along.
Right.
Who's just optimistic.
Well, I mean, again, this music did this to me as well. I have been having quite a rough time. Like this March was quite difficult.
Yeah.
A drop. I'm a summer boy, so winter is anyway rough for me. And this whole period, I've gone, and also some personal things. It was quite a rough time, which also helped me write some different kind of music as well. But suddenly you go on stage, and now I'm jumping up and down with you, and it's just because that's what the music did, and that's what I'm happy that it did to me, and I want it to do to everybody. And it's a magical power, I think, and from anything else that I've heard today, also of other bands playing, it's that thing, you know. It gives you so much energy. So don't worry, we can also have a sad talk once. You can call me and we can cry together. That's also possible.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Next time. But for now, it's fun, you know. We're having a good time. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I mean, we were talking about the Dutch scene, and you said, you know, Semey is a friend.
Yeah.
And the Netherlands are such a small country.
Right.
It feels like, you know, you all should know each other. Do you know Rembrandt Frerichs?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Well, the thing is, first of all, it is a small country, but there's a lot of musicians, and there's also a lot of generations. I just arrived 7 years ago, but there's a history, and there's the ICP Orchestra and Han Benning, and there's a lot of amazing music that happened in different generations. Jesse van Roeler and Ben van Gelderen. There's loads of amazing music. And we're kind of maybe this younger generation, but still we're also very connected. I've played with Rembrandt sometimes, and San is a very good friend, and Kiki, the trumpet player from Kama Collective that will play here on Saturday, she lived above me in the same building for 2 years, and we hang a lot together. San makes amazing food, and it's definitely there's totally a hang, especially in Amsterdam. And there's also a lot of support from outside. We have the Dutch In Jazz that are helping us and bring us together, and they brought us together also towards this, so they're an amazing support. And the BIM House is an amazing place where we meet a lot and play. So it's a small place, but there's a lot of beautiful people working and doing a lot of things. I can't mention everything here, but from Dutch jazz to whatever, there's a lot that's happening that helps us and supports us.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.